icy nets this morning. We're with Josh at Dog Lane. We do this every couple of years because quite a lot of the banks are undercut, so Josh gets the water down for us. One of the highest densities of big carp per acre that we do is in this lake. Lots of big fish, lots of big fish. It's pretty much fairly fully booked. You can fish it on the catch app. Josh has run this really, really well. He don't muck about, he knows what he's doing. And yeah, fair play. There's a lot of fish in here. I always say, I think there's too many, in fairness. I think there's too many. But at the end of the day, when we net it, up till this now, they've always been in good condition. There's loads of big uns. Everyone knows there's loads of big uns in here. For the size of the water, lots of big carp and some big cats too. But it's a phenomenal lake. It's very rich, it's quite shallow. So by netting it, we just remove in tinies, and there's a lot of them every couple of years. But it's a serious stock of big carp, and it's very good. But you know, this is the difference when you've got a lake owner who's proactive and he's always checking oxygen levels, always on it. He put the aerators on last night because the other two lakes are frozen. And we could net this under the ice, but it's a bit easier if we don't have to keep smashing ice and mucking around. But little things like that, and just, you know, he runs it very well, keeps it tidy. Swims are good, and there's loads of fish. What more do you want, really? So yeah, boys are just loading up, and then we'll crack on. At the moment it's -2, and this ice is forming now. Actually, when we first pulled up, there was a tiny little bit in the corner. It doesn't matter, it makes no difference what we're doing. It's fascinating how quick it comes and goes. It's just getting a bit colder. Like I said, I don't think you can see through there. That's the sort of Pleasure Lake Max. Like that is frozen through there, and the top one's frozen. And like I say, I'd net any of these under the ice. Haven't done them before. It's no dramas. Like I say, he drains it anyway, but they're yeah, it's quite straightforward to do on the ice. Interestingly, those trees up there, I'll get a bit closer later, but he pollarded them, and he keeps taking a few out, which is good. It lets a lot more wind in from the top down into here. And it was really, really silty in that corner, and it's already improved, but he dropped them down. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how to zoom in. I can probably do it on the edit. I'll try it on here. Anyway, you probably can't see, but the trees at the far end, they were really, really high, and Josh got them pollarded 3 years ago. And where the knuckles are, just above the conifers, you probably can't, I'll have to zoom in, but that's 3 years growth there. So they would have been the same height again from that up. And people just leave them, and then they fall in. But keeping them down, keeping them pollarded is a big edge, is a big, you know, everyone's so precious about trees, I don't know why. Millions of trees everywhere. But what Josh does is he goes, okay, they get a bit big, we'll pollard them. Especially on that, because that's where you want the wind coming through here. Obviously he keeps the conifers down. It's just basic stuff, but a lot of people don't even bother doing it. So it's refreshing when, you know, people get it and they do the important stuff, like netting it and trying to get the water down if you possibly can, and monitoring the oxygen. And a lot of people do it, but so many people don't, and then wonder why they have problems. So it's 200 metres round. Obviously I've already pulled it in quite a bit. It goes all the way around. Once you get on the dam as such, and you start closing it down, it's always important when you get into a corner, when you're netting anywhere, don't just get to a corner and wing it round with the end, because with deep nets, obviously the gap between the float line and lead line is nothing there. So if you basically went there and thought, oh, I'll walk across here, just with the very end, this whole bit here wouldn't be fishing properly. So always pull plenty in before you go around a corner when you're netting your own ponds. Some more technical netting information for the 3 people that are interested. Basically, if you only had 100 metres in here, I mean, he knocks it down just below, perfect actually, drops it, it's still loads of water, still plenty of depth out there, but he drops it just below these undercut banks. And it's quite wide across here, and if you only had one net and you started at the top end and you worked it all the way down to here, people are like, oh, I'll start here and work it all the way back up there. So just say you did that, 100 metres won't go across here anyway, and this is the deeper end, so you're going to miss out a lot of water if you only have one net, or even a couple, and try and do it all in one. If you hit any problems, and obviously trees go in and bits of branch and debris and stuff, you could just lose the whole lot. So what we do is very shallow up this top end. You can see it looks much bigger from over here, and so we always put a 100 meters across here, just the other side of this, in between these aerators. Shoot 100 meter across there, ready to net that bit, which means then with 200 meters we start here and come up, splash margins, get to here, go along, round, all the way down there, and then pull this bit that way with the deep nets, just because there's so many fish. It's always coloured, and yeah, we just drag the main net down there, land it there, and then when we finish that, grade all the fish back. And obviously that's a block, so they can't get into that area, so they're different fish, and that's much shallower. So Josh mentioned that because he had the water a lot lower than this a few days ago, knowing that it was going to absolutely hammer down with rain. And this is fine for us to net. It's below a lot of the stuff, so you can smash the margins, and there's not much vegetation left. That'll do, guys. Well done. And so obviously we've now condensed from that net there. This whole bit now has just been dragged through, and it does come through lovely. It's pretty uniform. But Josh mentioned that the other day when they were working, always doing work around the lakes, you know, it's brilliant. Rather than just leaving everything, get on top of you, just constantly working. This does look a picture in the summer. It's just green and plants everywhere, and the trees are looking good. It's just obviously freezing cold now. But about where I am now, he said in line with that bench, brain's gone cold, around here they've made a hole, and they do that a lot, especially when you've got lots of big fish. We've seen it personally, and had to drain lakes to get in and actually cut the lead line in the hole in a lake years ago, because the carp, and that's digging straight out of blue clay, hard blue clay, 5, 6, 7 foot deep lake, very uniform, and within 3 years they've made it a foot and a half deeper in a smallish area, about twice as width as a boat, and about the size of the boat but twice as big. Just where they sit on the occasional times you have a cold winter, they'll quite often do that. It's normal, it's not a bad thing. I always think it's quite a good thing really, but for the fish it's good that they're sort of grouping up in the winters and stuff in that respect, because like I say, that's what I mean when I say they find their own features. They just make their own in clay, and not being funny, they can shift a fair bit of gravel. But this area here, all round here, is where the fish was sat, and they didn't want to move, so all you do is just keep buzzing around with the boat, just gently pulling it, slowly pulling the net in. Because if there's 300 carp in here, so if they're getting on thereabouts, all big, so if they were all sat, and you'd be amazed how tight they'll shoal when it's cold. That's why the fishing's hard in the winter. You can have rods everywhere, and if all the fish, people don't believe you, we see these things when you drain lakes and when you net them, all the fish can just be sat in tight groups, and if they've just done that for weeks and made a little recess in the clay, then more fish will do it, and more fish, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously if you pull a net across it, this net's like 7 or 8 times deeper than the pond, which you need ideally when it's like this and this volume of fish. So yeah, all these things you need to bear in mind. It is helpful that the water's a bit lower, but they can still easily blow the net and you still get out. So it's all very well having all these nets, but you really got to think about what you're doing. And it comes down to a bit of technique and slow. Just speed is the one simple bit of advice, is do it slowly, especially when you're learning as well. There's times when you can whiz a net in and stuff, you know, if you absolutely know what the bottom's like and all this, you can do it a little bit quicker, but speed is what normally ballses people up, especially when you've got 20 blokes. You've got 20 blokes either side and they're all heaving the net in. You don't want that. You just don't need it. You want to do it slowly and figure out where you're going to land it. Make yourself plenty of space, get organised. You know, the volumes of fish you're going to have, get plenty of bins. And look, Josh is doing that already. He's got his trailer, he's got the bins, got pens to put fish in. Always do that before you catch a fish, so you're organised. You're dealing with livestock, and all right, it's freezing cold, really is, and they're pretty bomb-proof this time of year. But you still need to be very organised. So it's always refreshing when a fishery owner is, because quite often they're not. So I'm out of breath because we've already landed the net now. Josh is very organised, which is always nice to see. We've already taken out these quality roach. Beautiful fish. Really lovely. We're doing the other lake. And then small fish come out. And then basically, like I said, we've already graded £600-700 of small silvers out of here already. Skimmed them off the top. And then now we're left with what's in here. So we just have a look in here now. Big fish. Big fish. I think the crowd's down to here. Love it. Yes. Little lard.
I wanted to see all the way around.
So that's this end done. We've already pulled most of the netting up there. It takes a long time to de-stick the nets and shake all the little tiny fish out when they're getting gilled. There's always sometimes you get places and they're just that wrong size where the certain year class like this big will get gilled in some of the nets. It takes a little bit longer to sort them out. But yeah, Josh is always doing work around here. It just reminds me of when I worked on the fishery for years, and you can just tell, anglers won't notice half the time like he says, but you can just tell when someone's been around doing stuff, regular maintenance, regular jobs, and you look around and think, yeah, he's done all that. Just pollarding, maintaining. And it's the same with your water quality, you know, in the summer months, you're always checking the water quality. It's really good. But that is why you can hold this many big fish in a lake that's not massive, really. Well, it's this big, look. And that's why you can't just wing it. People try, but then eventually they have a massive monumental problem, normally resulting in a fish kill losing the carp. And we took, including the cats, probably £1,500 weight of fish out. But it's a very productive bit of water, like I say. It's just, it is what it is. Some lakes are just very rich, and this is one of them. And the carp look really good. They look really good. They always do here, to be fair. But like I say, there's a lot of work goes into it. Just maintaining it. The swims are all pucker. They're all good, and you're always having to, you know, you're dealing with nature, and you're working with erosion, you're working with all sorts of stuff. So it takes a lot of work to do all this. And it's good. It's good to see. The batteries are amazing. I just can't believe how good they are. You can run full whack everywhere for hours. Yeah, so this net started the other side of this aerator, and it was across there, and we slowly brought it all the way down. It's much more shallow up this end. And we'll just see what we catch. We've just come up the other end. There's some absolutely beautiful fish up here. Look at these fish, man. They're absolutely stunning. And these aren't fish that have just been chucked in there this year, like a lot of people do. These have been in here a while, and Josh looks after them.
You good on the count?
Stunning fish. Gorgeous, yeah.
Happy for it to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're absolute minters.
Yeah.
That's a big common, yeah.
Yeah, all nice fish.
So many. You see why it's so popular?
Hello. You have a good one? Right.
Yeah.
That one up there, that's fucking farm minimum.
Oh wow, look at them two there. Look.
I was trying to get a picture, I didn't know if he had his phone out or not.
What a couple of fish they are, eh? For a day ticket carp fishery.
Yeah.
Day ticket carp fishery, they're not bad, are they? Look at them. Beautiful fish. Yeah, they're lovely. Real good mouth as well. And there we are. It's crazy how some lakes can just naturally hold a lot more fish. Yeah, he does supplement the feed in here because there's an awful lot of big fish and it's just quite common, and we advise it, especially these days, with lots and lots of big fish. But we know there's 270 big carp in the lake. That's what we caught last time. We caught just under that this time. But if you average out 270 at 25 pounds, that's over 6,000 pounds weight of fish. And then you've got the silvers and the catfish on top of that. So it's a huge density of fish. So then it becomes very important to reduce the biomass by a considerable amount. So we do, and every other year we come and do it. And we remove a good 1,500 pounds weight of fish that just aren't needed in the lake. Personally, I'd still grade through the carp and take probably 50 of the carp out.
because there's a lot in there. But no, he does a great job of looking after it. It's a credit to him and the family. Loads of big fish. And the other two lakes similar. There's the smaller lake at the top, which you can book as well, and like a pleasure fishery match lake, which has also got stacks of fish in. So yeah, it's gone very well. But again, it really helps us. It's, you know, a lot of the times we just turn up and then we just crack on. But when you turn up somewhere, you know, like I said in the video, you know then how organised people are, because you turn up and you see what's happening. And some of these places you go to and you can tell nothing's been touched for donkey's years, and then you're getting, okay, well, and normally the results are you know, a mirror image of that, really. The more effort equals reward, as we always say. But yeah, it's a good one. Always a pleasure to help Josh out as much as we can. And yeah, off to Essex at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I better go to sleep.